All right, everybody, welcome to another We Read the Documents live stream. I'm your host, John Brisson. Thank you for joining us this evening. This shouldn't be too long of a stream. Shout out to Billy Ray Valentine. We got in a discussion about this that was brought to his attention by Neil Sanders. Shout out to Neil Sanders. So I've always, well, not always, I've been for a while. I have been, thinking. This all has to connect to the United Nations, right? Like the United Nations. But then again, it could be all that could be a rub, because they've been talking about United Nations being the one world government in conspiracy culture for decades. I remember as a kid when my dad was alive, listening to Bill Cooper discuss it. And I now believe that it's likely to be the case. But there's a possibility that it may not. But you don't really hear a lot of people discuss the United Nations anymore. Most people are focused on the World Economic Forum or the World Health Organization or the Council on Foreign Relations or the Bilderberg Group. Or I'm focused on the Council for National Policy and the Atlantic Council, La Circle. But I do, keep an eye open and an ear to the ground whenever the United Nations pops up. And, me and Mark from Musitonic Live have had discussions about, no one really talking about the United Nations in length anymore. It's kind of like they've been pushed off to the side. Now, you can reference the previous video of me disagreeing with John from E511 Ministries and that there is no fruit to bring to the awareness of the old world order, of the Harlot, of what is currently going on as being the Great Reset, as him warning people or saying that's sinful. I disagree with that. I think in proper context, as Christians, we are called to, uncover and report deeds of darkness, right? Both within the body of Christ and without. People out there that are not Christians, we're still called to, report on their evil deeds, but under a Christian worldview, and present both sides, which we believe to be the truth. That there is a great reset, but there's also a great awakening. And there's a possibility that, again, if the way I look at the world order, one eagle, two wings, right? Well, the Great Reset is something I've pondered on this channel, and I've asked. The Great Reset is it the Great Reset versus the Great Awakening, or is it the Great Reset is the Great Awakening? That it's one and the same. It's one and the same. The way that the elite want us to believe is kind of like the Masonic worldview of a black and white checkerboard of light and dark. Of course, as Christians, we know that within God there is no darkness. And so, we know that kind of false worldview is incorrect. Okay, at least the way that we look at it. It's kind of a false dichotomy. So we've heard many people discuss, the pushing of the World Economic Forum. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy, right? Like, that's put out there everywhere. You're even hearing it on mainstream, Council for National Policy approved media. Like Tucker Carlson on Fox News, or Dan Bongino, who took over Rush Limbaugh on the radio or on Newsmax. Of course, Christopher Ruddy, though a longtime member of the CMP, is also now really good friends with the Clintons and a major part of the Clinton Foundation. That's really, again, to show one eagle, two wings. So, Glenn Beck, Mormon Mafia, the CMP Mormon Mafia is pushing it. So you always hear, and even in just standard conspiracy media, you probably have heard me even mention it here on this channel. It's almost a parroted talking point, right? So you'll hear conspiracy alternative researchers, some being CMP controlled, like Alex Jones, or you'll see even, I guess, lesser known, like Jason Burmis or Jay Dyer, kind of constantly parrot this, almost make Klaus Schwab, when you're looking at him, I mean, he kind of looks like a Bond villain, right? And then you have Yuval Noah Harari, who is the guy pulling the puppet strings of Klaus Schwab, right? So they're both kind of like this boogeyman archetype, this Emmanuel Goldstein archetype that you divert all your hate from and you cast all your hate to, because they're the reason why things are so bad with inflation and the economy is so bad and we're heading in the Great Reset and you own nothing and blah, 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 blah. And look, I'm not like sticking up for these people. They're horrific fallen people, right? Okay, like Klaus Schwab and Yuval Noah Harari, we should pray for them. They're fallen, okay? They're fallen and they're wicked, all right? I'm not like sitting here trying to defend them, but I'm saying is look who is building them up to be these almost unstoppable juggernauts to be defeated. As my friend Jesse Spots would talk about a lot, is kind of like the king hero's journey archetype, right? And so we all grew up, myself included, wanting to be the hero. Few people sympathize with the villain. There's some sympathy for the devil, Rolling Stones song. But most people want to be the hero, right? So they want to be the center of their own journey, their hero's journey, which is brought up by Campbell. And so as a form of storytelling, is very popular. And so the hero has to have some major villain to overcome. And sometimes, in modern times, they've gotten so fancy the king hero's journey is the villain is you! But I digress there. So, I've played Clay Clark and We Awaken America tour many times on this channel. And they're constantly talking about Yuval Noah Harari, Klaus Schwab, Yuval Noah Harari, Klaus Schwab, Yuval Noah Harari, Klaus Schwab. Constantly. Like constantly, on and 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 on. To the point where it's like, is there anybody else? Like, at one time it was many years ago, it was Ted Turner, or it was Maurice Strong, who's a World Future Society member, or George Soros. Okay, and I'm not discounting or belittling the crimes of these people, and likely none of them are saved. And they will, or they, will in the future, they're going to face the white throne judgment by God, right, and be cast into hell, sadly, but again, they had a chance to repent, they had a chance to believe, and they failed to do so. So, and God will get his vengeance, because vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. He is the righteous judge. So these people will be adjudged for their sins righteously, and cast into the lake of fire, into hell for all eternity. At the end of time. So I'm not, trying to cheerlead for these people. I'm not a fan of them at all. But there are a lot of people who are trying to make it out like these guys are the worst of the worst, and there's no one else. And I find that to be disingenuous. So why don't we dig in a little bit into where you'll own nothing and be happy? Did Klaus Schwab even say that? Okay. Was it put out primarily by the World Economic Forum? Was it put out by other publications? Some of them that may be on the Great Awakening side. So let's find out here. So 8 predictions for the world in 2030. November 12th, 2016. So this is the World Economic Forum website. So here we have, all products will have become services. I don't own anything. I don't own a car. I don't own a house. I don't own any appliances or any clothes, right? It's a Danish member of parliament, Ida Auken. Shopping is a distant memory in the city of 2030, whose inhabitants have cracked clean energy and borrow what they need on demand. It sounds utopian until she mentions that her every move is tracked, and outside the city live swaths of discontents, the ultimate depiction of a society split in two. So, and we're going to read, Danish member of parliament's Ida Auken's little short thought experiment. Okay. And we're going to see, what does she say? Now, so one could argue that this bottom part down here is a false concession that there are issues with this future, this alleged future. She even mentions that it's not necessarily a utopia, that it could be a dystopia in some ways. Is that genuine? I would say coming from her, probably not. But, you could say that, the addition of the issues associated with this future could be revelation of method. Okay. But, and again, I don't think revelation of the method is anything based with karma, because I don't believe in karma as a Christian. But I do believe that revelation of the method might exist in a way to kind of test the waters by telling people the future and judge how they react. Or see if they kind of like I said, see how they react or what they do to something that may happen, in the future. So kind of disclose, like she's disclosing, this is what the future may look like. Let's see how people react to that disclosure of how the future may look like. Okay, so I don't think they, tell their plans to kind of wash themselves of what they do, okay? Because I don't believe in karma as a Christian, all right? But I do believe that a lot of times is for them to either test the waters or to seed beliefs or outcomes that they want in people's, heads. So it becomes an accepted thing. Kind of like the pushing of you'll own nothing and be happy being pushed directly on Klaus Schwab and being pushed that this is the Great Reset. This is what you have to fight against. This is what you have to rebel against. With if you do not stop this, this is the end of humanity. Okay. And these are the guys that will help you. And these guys are the Great Awakening side, the light side, okay? The light that is dark, okay? Shout out to Magical Mystery Church. Shout the light that is dark. And so that's kind of like the framing that they're using. So, if you go click on, let's say you would want to go to click on to read Ida Auken's blog, right? Let's say that you want to read, how far did the World Economic Forum endorse this? Like, how far did this go? All right. So, of course, when you click on it, oops, it's been removed. Okay. Well, again, is this Is this for conspiracy or is it just a coincidence? Shout out to Jack Allen. Is it to stoke outrage? Because they could have easily just removed this page, A Predictions for the World in 2030, but they left this one up so you could link to her blog and then get a 404. I could have easily scrubbed this one too. We know they can scrub websites. We know they can scrub websites from the Internet Wayback Machine. Why did they set this red herring up that is so very obvious? This is meat. This is meat. This is just a nice, delicious steak. It's bait. It's bait. It's bait. It's bait is what it is. It's bait, and it's to mislead people to what we're going to discuss. Okay? They left this up so that you can get outraged. How dare them take that blog down? Now, most people, again, just think that quote is attributed to something Klaus Schwab says or some sort of platform the World Economic Forum says. Yes, Starshine, they took it down because enough data on it was collected. That's another possibility. That's another possibility. They got enough data to see how people would react to it. And I'm going to actually show something that would back up what Starshine said about that. All right? So when you go to Internet Wayback Machine, which it still exists, You could go read it. They didn't scrub it off the Wayback Machine. All right? When you look at the amount of captives that they have, look how many people accessed it during COVID. Look at this. Hardly anybody accessed it before COVID, and then bam! Bam! Look at that. Look. People went in this crazy trying to Google. Oh no. Klaus Schwab. You'll own nothing and you'll like it. Oh no. They had all this time to delete it. All this time to delete it off the Internet Wayback Machine. All this time to delete it off the World Economic Forum website. So when does it stop? All right, so let's see here. That's August 17th, 2022. Let's see. Was it up then? Oh, I don't know because it's not going to load one for me. See, was it up on the 5th? Was it up on the 5th? Let's see if was it up on the 5th. No, it was 4:04 on the 5th. Okay. What about the 10th? Let's try the 10th. There's 3 snapshots on the 10th, so it must have been busy then. Must have been popping. March the 10th, 2022. See, I can't even load it up. I can't even load it up. So here I took it from April the 6th, 2020. It was still up. Okay, I can't even load up because it's. All right, let's try March the 10th. It finally loaded. Still 4:04. Okay. So let's go back a little bit to 2021. So many people are searching it. It's lagging. So let's try February 21st. So now we got a 301 response. So at least 2021 it was still up. Likely 2020 it was still up. All when COVID was going on. So let's read. Let's read. Okay. Let's read. What this Denmark member of Parliament Ida Auken wrote. Okay. Welcome to 2030. I own nothing, have no privacy, and life has never been better. Okay. This article is part of the annual meeting of the Global Future Councils. Okay. For more information, watch the What If Privacy Becomes a Luxury Goods session for the World Economics Forum annual meeting in 2017. Okay. So that, they added an addendum to this article, putting up at the top of what if privacy becomes a luxury good for the elite. All right. So that, that's concerning. That's concerning. But she brings it up in this blog that that's a concern. Now, it could be, again, revelation of the method. It could be bait. I don't know. Welcome to the year 2030. Welcome to my city, or should I say our city. I don't own anything. I don't own a car. I don't own a house. I don't own any appliances or any clothes. It might seem odd to you, but it makes perfect sense for us in this city. Everything you consider a product has now become a service. We have access to transportation, accommodation, food, and all the things we need in our daily lives. One by one, all these things became free, so it ended up not making much sense for us to own much. Okay, so this... it sounds like maybe the quantum financial reset happens before 2030, eh? First, communication became digitized and free to everyone. Then when clean energy became free, things started to move quickly. Transportation dropped dramatically in price. It made no sense for us to own cars anymore because we could call a driverless video or a flying car for longer journeys within minutes. Remember we were supposed to have flying cars by now? Remember when we were supposed to have flying cars? 2016 November, Starshine, was when this article first was published. November 25th, 2016, I believe. No, 11th. November 11th, 2016. We were supposed to have flying cars by now. I mean, I remember watching Back to the Future, right? So why haven't we? Now, has anybody considered that that's going to come with the beast system? That's going to come with the quantum financial reset. If we're truly living in the end times, okay, if we truly are, all right, is all this hidden technology going to be given to the public to entice them to take the mark? So when Alex Jones was saying Trump's got all the cures, Trump's got all the cures, right? That just sounds silly. False signs and wonders and false miracles, huh? I don't know. I kind of look at stuff a little bit differently. I used to scoff at it and not think it was going to happen, right? But now I'm not so sure. I mean, what if, as crazy as this sounds, and I'm not going to say it's 100%, I 100%, believe this to be true.
Has been dismantling the New World Order for the last 6 years. And when he comes back in office, and he is going to come back in office, he's going to finish what he started. I have every reason to believe that Trump is going to come back and he's going to crack some skulls in Washington, D.C. He's going to drain the swamp. He's going to end the New World Order. And I think we are going to live in a time of peace and prosperity. I think the wealth that the wicked have stolen is going to be repatriated to us. I think that the cures for diseases that they have hidden from us are going to be revealed. I think we're going to be living in a much better, much different world from the one we have right now.
Well, darn. He kind of sounds like Ida Aiken, does he not? Does he not? But I mean, that praying medic, he's insane, right? And Alex Jones, yeah. Exactly. Tell them 29. If they really want to entice the public, they give the things for free. They bring the terms and conditions later. Yep, that's exactly right. And Sound Impact's right too. The mark would be like Neuralink. I agree with that. But when the left QAnon people, right wing watch, when good old Jared Holtz, who's a member of the Atlantic Council, he's like, oh look, he represents the Great Reset side, the left side of the wing. Okay. Oh look how crazy Dave Haynes is, right? Alex Jones. Oh, look at him saying all these crazy things, and then Ida Aiken says, and it's like, oh, it's so enlightened, it's so great, she's so smart. I don't know. I'm just putting out a theory. It could be 2 years from now, and I could be like, hey, Trump never got elected. It's Ron DeSantis. I don't know. I'm not sitting here saying that Trump's the Antichrist. I know for sure. We're living in the end times. I know for sure. It's going to happen on this date because no one knows the time but the hour. I think we're in the birth pangs, but we may not. I don't know. I mean, there have been, plenty of times where, Christians believe that they were living in the end times. But I don't. It feels like right now that we're living close to it or in it. All right. But maybe not. And if anybody tells you otherwise that this is it, before we get further confirmation, I'd say you probably shouldn't listen to them on that. But man, does it... I don't know. I don't know. So, again, the Great Reset, is it the Great Reset versus the Great Awakening, or is it the Great Reset is the Great Awakening? Is there much difference between what David Hayes and a lot of the QAnon operation people say and what Ida Aiken is saying here? Because they're both sound like, to me, they're talking about some sort of utopian quantum financial reset that a lot of the New Agers have talked about with the St. Germain Trust. Probably Alexander did an excellent video on that, the root of evil, because love of money is the root of all evil. So, they've talked about this quantum financial reset. So the World Economic Forum is talking about the quantum financial reset. And the Great Awakening side is talking about the quantum financial reset, but they're saying, oh, well, what they're doing is evil. What we're doing is good. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I could have literally wrote this, changed a little bit of the wording and wrote this from a QAnon operation standpoint and posted it as a Q blog. And people would have been like, woo, yeah, it's right. Yes, we'll own nothing, but it doesn't matter because the good guys won, and I just had to get a chip in my forehead and in my hand, and now I can do whatever I want. Is do what thou wilt. I have all the money and the resources available for me to do whatever my little heart desires, my wicked heart desires. Yes, Sound of Packets, both. The Great Reset is the Greater Awakening, but also you could say the Great Reset is versus the Great Awakening because the false light will bring down the darkness. The Great Awakening will bring down the Great Reset, but it's all for show. All right, let's continue. First, communication became digitalized and free to everyone. When clean energy became free, things started to move quickly. Transportation dropped dramatically in price. It made no sense for us to own cars anymore because we could call a driverless vehicle or a flying car for longer journeys within minutes. We started transporting ourselves in a much more organized and coordinated way. When public transport became easier, quicker, and more convenient than the car, now I can hardly believe that we accepted congestion and traffic jams, not to mention the air pollution from combustion engines. What were we thinking? Free energy? Universal basic income? Anybody there? Sometimes I use my bike when I go to see some of my friends. I enjoy the exercise and the ride. It kind of gets the soul to come along with the journey. Funny how some things seem to lose their excitement. Walking, biking, cooking, drawing, and growing plants. Makes perfect sense and reminds us of how our culture emerged out of a close relationship with nature. Environmental problems seem far away. In our city, we don't pay any rent because someone else is using our free space whenever we do not need it. Communitarianism. Mm-hmm. My living room is used for business meetings when I'm not there. Once in a while, I would choose to cook for myself. It's easy. The necessary kitchen equipment is delivered to my door within minutes. As transport became free, we stopped having all those things stuffed into our home. Why keep a pasta maker and a crepe cooker crammed in our cupboards? We can just order them when we need them. This also made a breakthrough of a circular economy. Circular economy, hello. Easier. When products are turned into services, no one is interested in things with short lifespan. Everything is designed for durability, repairability, and recyclability. This woman is literally writing about the quantum financial reset. Yes, to shine the light, debt jubilee. Debt jubilee, St. Germain Trust, Nasara Gassara. Wait, but I thought the Great Reset was different from the Great Awakening. I thought they wouldn't be talking about the same thing. I thought they wouldn't be trying to sell the same thing. Oh, wait, they are. It's just the World Economic Forum, bad and dark and evil, and the Great Awakening side, the light side, the false light side, like the false light of Lucifer, Oh, they're good. They're coming to the rescue. They're patriots, and patriots are in control, and we're going to be saved. The only Savior of humanity is our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. There is no hope and no safety in man. I didn't realize this until I talked to Billy today. And I'm disappointed in myself. I can't believe I missed this. I can't. I should have looked. But we make mistakes, so please forgive me. I can't believe this. Everyone designed for durability, repairability, and recyclability. The materials are flowing more quickly in our economy and can be transformed to new products pretty easily. Environmental problems seem far away since we use our clean energy. Both sides talking about clean energy. Both sides talking about free energy. And clean production methods. The air is clean, the water is clean, and nobody would dare touch the protected areas of nature because they constitute such value to our well-being. In the cities, we have plenty of green space and plants and trees all over. I still don't understand why in the past we filled all these free spots in the city with concrete. Wow, sounds kind of like Barbara Marx Hubbard. And yes, some of the things she says, like we should keep some plant life around and we should take care of that plant life. Yes, we're given dominion over the earth. We should treat God's creation with respect, not worship God's creation, not worship God. We should treat God's creation, with some sort of respect since we have dominion over it. God created it, okay? We shouldn't pollute. We shouldn't litter, okay, to the best of our ability. Shopping, I can't really remember what that is. For most of us, it has been turned into choosing things to use. Sometimes I find this fun, and sometimes I just want the algorithm to do it for me. It knows my taste better than I do by now. When AI robots took over so much of our work, we suddenly had time to eat well, sleep well, and spend time with other people. The concept of rush hour makes no sense anymore. Just the work that we do can be done at any time. I don't really know if I would call it work anymore. It's more like thinking time, creation time, and development time. For a while, everything was turned into entertainment, and people did not want to bother themselves with difficult issues. For a while, everything has turned into entertainment, and people did not want to bother themselves with difficult issues. Well, that sounds like Brave New World. Not 1984, but that sounds like a Brave New World order. Do what thou wilt. It was only at last minute that we found out how to use all the news technologies for better purposes than just killing time. They live different kinds of lives outside of the city. Just like the sectors of the indigenous people in a Brave New World. Christians separating themselves from the beast system. The people that live outside of the city. People that live outside of the city in camps. My biggest concern is that all people who do not live in our city, those we lost on the way, those who decided that it became too much, all this technology, those who felt obsolete and useless when robots and AI took over parts of our jobs, those who got upset with the political system and turned against it. They live different lives outside the lives outside the city. Some have formed little self-supplying communities. Others just stayed in the empty and abandoned houses and small 19th century villages. Once in a while, I get annoyed about the fact that I have no real privacy, nowhere I can go and not be registered. Nowhere I can go and not be registered. It's the combination of 1984 and a Brave New World. I know that somewhere everything I do and think and dream of it is recorded. I just hope that nobody will use it against me. Sounds like the beast system to me. All in all, it's a good life, much better than the path we were on, where it became so clear that we cannot continue with the same model of growth. We had all these terrible things happening: lifestyle diseases, climate change, the refugee crisis, environmental degradation, completely congested cities, water pollution, air pollution, social unrest, and unemployment. We lost too many people before we realized that we could do things differently. Author's note. Some people may have read this blog as my utopia or dream of the future. It is not. It is a scenario showing where we could be heading, for better and for worse. I wrote this piece to start a discussion about some of the pros and cons of current technological development, so it's a thought experiment. We are dealing with the future. It is not enough to work with reports. We should start discussions in many new ways. This is the intention with this piece. Ida Aiken, member of Parliament of Denmark. The views expressed in this article are those of the author alone and not the World Economic Forum. You could debate that. That could be debatable. So here we have the Forum of Young Global Leaders. The World Economic Forum, Young Global Leaders. Ida Aiken, member of Parliament of Denmark. So we have, wait. Forbes, CMP Steve Forbes? Why would the CMP be sharing this article from the World Economic Forum? Why would the Great Awakening, the false light, why would they share such an article? Why would the CMP share such an article? Fabian Socialism? World Economic Forum contributor by Ida Aiken. Interestingly enough, on Forbes, it doesn't say, unlike the World Economic Forum, Forbes doesn't say this is Ida Aiken's her only views and not the views of Forbes. Forbes doesn't put that. Think of that. So you have Sustainable Development Goals to the United Nations. Now, if you go back and look through Miss Aiken's history, she's worked with the United Nations probably longer than she's worked with the World Economic Forum. Sustainable Development Goals, a conversation with Ida Aiken, co-chair of the Circulars, and Mani Vajpayee, Banyan Nation, Circular People's Choice Awardee. The circular economy. Wait a minute. World Economic Forum talking about the circular economy. United Nations talking about the circular economy? Wait. That's the supposed proposed economy for the beast system. Now, a lot of people, I understand, might disagree with Dr. June Knight's theology. She did a lot of good work covering the United Nations and circular economy. Okay? Communitarianism, circular economy, United Nations, World Economic Forum, the quantum financial reset. The 17 goals, the 17 UN sustainable goals. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and partnerships for the goals. Yes, sound impact. United Nations meets the 7 Mountain Mandate. Technically, that is correct. 30 visions for a better future. What if we get things right? Visions for 2030. This is a follow-up that Ida Aiken wrote for October 2019. October 29, 2019. We're winning the fight against climate change. Welcome to Cotopia. That's interesting wording. Or Cotopia for CO2. Ida Aiken, Danish member of Parliament, Global Future Councils on Cities and Urbanization. By 2030, your CO2 emissions will be far down. The air you breathe is cleaner. Nature's recovering. Saving the climate does involve huge change, but may make us happier at the same time. Here's one version of a Cotopia. You walk out of your door in the morning into a green and livable city. You choose to call upon a car. An algorithm has calculated the smartest route for the vehicle. Remember, Elon Musk is supposedly, Tesla supposedly working all this. And Tesla is a hero of the Great Awakening, of the false light side the conservative. Okay? At least Jason Burmis, when he goes and talks to the Clay Clark We Awaken America tours, as much as it infuriates me, he does call it out to those people of how wicked Elon Musk does. Granted, he doesn't do it from a biblical Christian perspective. But at least I will give him a little small, little tiny, little bit of credit. At least he does that. But then again, so does all the rest of them. So I guess that credit really is nothing. Since the city council has banned private cars in the city, tons of new mobility services have arrived. It's cheaper for you not to own your own car, and it reduces congestion, so you arrive at your destination more quickly. You don't have to spend time looking for parking. There are a lot fewer cars on the streets, and the rest are electric. All electricity is green, by the way. Single-use plastics are decent memory. When you buy stuff, you buy something that lasts. Okay, so some things I understand making out of plastic, but why did we transition a majority of glass to plastics then? But because you buy a lot fewer things, you can actually afford better quality products. Refuse, reuse, reduce, recycle is a new way of looking at things. Because citizens are buying so much stuff, they have more money to spend on services, cleaning, gardening, laundry help, healthy meals to cook, entertainment experiences, fabulous new restaurants. Always brings the average person much more options and more free time. Pick up the mantle against climate change. May not be so bad, after all. And then finally, Thrive Time Show, The Reawakening versus The Great Reset. Discover the truth. The Great Awakening versus The Great Reset. Great Awakening, of course, has the Theosophist Michael Flynn, Mike Lindell, Dr. Stella Emanuel, and who is currently awaiting judgment, Chabad Noahide Law adherent, Zev Zelenko. The Great Reset has Klaus Schwab, George Soros, Bill Gates, Noah Harari, Barack Obama, and Mark Zuckerberg. Interestingly enough, I think Mark Zuckerberg actually might be playing on this team. So they have a picture of the Holy Bible versus COVID, the Great Reset. So that's the Great Reset is represented by a snake. The Great Awakening is represented by the false prophet and a person who is not a Christian, Kim Clement. So we have the newest video of Thrive Time Show, which is Clay Clark. Antichrist, anti-human, anti-money, anti-meat, anti-nationalist, law-changing agenda. What Yuval Noah Harari has the Antichrist agent been revealed? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Give me a minute. I gotta collect myself. Try not to cuss. Peter Navarro and General Flynn, President Trump's dream team. If Trump returns, what is their practical plan moving forward? All of the president's men. So now, Yuval Noah Harari, a biblical perspective on Yuval Noah Harari. Has the Antichrist agenda been revealed? Well, whoa. What? They have listed on here that Jesus was raptured? Because Enoch was taken, sure. Elijah was taken, sure. Jesus wasn't taken. I'm going to have to watch this video. This video is probably going to make me very mad. This video is going to really probably make me very angry. Emmanuel Macron, meaning Emmanuel, God is with us. Macron is the mark. So now they're trying to push Jupiter as being the Antichrist. Yes, Adapec is an ascension movement that's coming up. Yep. Carson, Jesus wasn't in hell. He was in Hades. He wasn't raptured. He's God. He's part of the Trinity. You know, I mean, he's it's Catholic. The herring of hell is Catholic. Oh dear God. Well, I will be listening to the biblical perspective on Yuval Noah Harari. Has the Antichrist agenda been revealed? And I will let you know. I will let you know. This is... Oh, boy. All right, everybody. That's really about it. That's all I got. Shout out to Billy. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Shout out to Neil for discussing it with Billy. Just read the Bible daily. If you're not born again, Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. The only way to the Father. The only way to eternal life. We're all sinful, but the wages of sin are death. Everybody has to face the first death. You don't want to face the second death, which is judgment in front of God's white throne at the end of the world. And if you do not believe and have faith in Jesus, if you're not born again, then Jesus will not intercede for you, and you will face God's judgment and God's wrath, and you will be cast into hell for all eternity. No, Jesus didn't, enslaved by truth, Jesus didn't go to hell. He went to Hades. Hell is in the future. So not everyone before Christ was damned. No, Jesus went to Hades and preached, who he was, and effectively preached the gospel, for lack of better words. And, some, righteous people went with him that were not called up like Enoch or Elijah. So the herring of hell, you can actually look it up. That's Catholic. It's not biblical. There's a difference between Hades and hell. Lake of fire is future tense, and Hades was split before Jesus into paradise or Abraham's bosom for those who were righteous and believed in God and followed God and had faith, and those who did not, they suffered in Hades. And then after Jesus came, in my opinion, there is no Abraham's bosom or paradise anymore. Once we die, if we are born again, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. All right, everybody, that's it. The Great Reset is the Great Awakening, but also the Great Reset versus the Great Awakening. It is both. Take care, everybody. God bless.